Welcome to today's Explainer. We've got a massive, absolute game changer of a breaking news story in the pharma sector today. We're talking about a $1.1 billion acquisition that is literally set to shift the balance of power in medical development. So, we're going to look closely at the raw data, figure out exactly who's involved, unpack the strategic positioning behind this move, and figure out the broader implications for the market. Let's get right into it. Okay, let's dive into this. $1.1 billion. Just let that number sink in for a second. A 10-figure transaction in the highly regulated healthcare world is a staggering vote of confidence, right? It represents immense capital and immense leverage transferring from one side of the table to the other. Deals of this magnitude, they're never just simple transactions. They are profound statements of intent. When a figure like this hits the financial feeds, well, it absolutely commands our full attention because it guarantees that the market dynamics as we know them are about to change big time. So, what exactly happened? Amneal has officially completed a buyout of Kashiv BioSciences, and notice the certainty of the language in the reporting here. This deal isn't pending some regulatory approval, it's not a rumored whisper on Wall Street, and it's definitely not in the early negotiation phase. That word completes is vital. It means the capital has been officially committed and transferred. This structural shift in the pharmaceutical market is a concrete reality now.
And this brilliantly illustrates the dynamic at play between these two key entities. On one side, we have Amneal, the entity driving the transaction, utilizing that massive $1.1 billion war chest to acquire Kashiv BioSciences. On the other side, we're looking at a direct, linear transfer of ownership and control here, forever connecting these two specific players in the history of the market.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it positions Amneal. By executing a complete buyout rather than, say, a standard merger of equals, Amneal definitively takes the reins. They're securing total controlling interest. And what that means is they're effectively bringing Kashiv's robust pipeline, their ongoing proprietary research, their patents, and all their operational capabilities entirely under the Amneal corporate umbrella. And they're doing it without having to compromise on strategic direction. It's a total takeover. If you actually look at the raw source data, and specifically, we're talking about analyzing the literal components of the URL path from the initial financial report, it serves as a really neat analytical trick to cut through all the market noise. Look at this. Sector, pharmaceuticals. Category, mergers and acquisitions. Acquirer, Amneal. Target, Kashiv BioSciences. Deal value, a cool $1.1 billion. And finally, status, completed. Breaking a news alert down into these precise data points really strips away all the wild speculation and gets us straight to the factual architecture of the deal. Sitting squarely within that M&A category, this transaction highlights the strategic benefits of rapid industry consolidation. You see, major players like Amneal are aggressively expanding their footprint right now. They're opting to integrate already established, highly capable operations like Kashiv rather than trying to build them organically from scratch, which takes years. In a market that's intensely competitive, this level of consolidation is basically a strategic necessity. It's designed to immediately streamline supply chains, pool incredibly valuable research resources, and ultimately outpace rivals in the race to bring new therapies to market. Let's move to and see how this builds into a comprehensive, super clean summary of the transaction. We have Amneal stepping in as the acquirer, taking over Kashiv BioSciences as the target, operating strictly within the pharmaceutical sector, and of course, all anchored by that jaw-dropping $1.1 billion price tag. Having these core parameters clearly established like this allows us to better understand the much broader industry impact that inevitably follows a move of this scale.
So the crucial point is the specific scientific nature of the target company here, Biosciences. Amneal didn't just deploy $1 billion for a generic logistics firm, right? They specifically targeted biological sciences. Scaling bioscience operations, whether that's developing incredibly complex biologic therapies, creating specialized drug delivery systems, or navigating those notoriously rigorous multi-phase clinical trials, is notoriously difficult without massive capital backing. By funneling $1.1 billion directly into these assets, Amneal is fundamentally accelerating how quickly these advanced therapies can move from the R&D phase straight to the patients who desperately need them.
As we wrap up today's Explainer, an acquisition like this really forces us to look ahead. A deal of this sheer magnitude is never an end point, it's a catalyst. It is going to send immediate ripple effects throughout the entire global pharmaceutical industry. Will this super aggressive move by Amneal trigger a wave of competing buyouts from rival firms just trying to keep pace? And, with ownership fully transferred, how exactly will this newly consolidated powerhouse change the trajectory of available treatments and medical pathways in the coming years? I mean, with $1.1 billion fully committed and on the table, what is next for Biosciences?